Welcome back, viewer, to Chungu Cha Jamii. Today we are talking about drug and substance abuse. The solution: you're in this place, you're in this hole that you want to crawl out, that you want to help your brother come out of it, your sister, your neighbor. Send in your concern, your question, your comments across all our social media networks. That's GBS TV Africa. Our SMS line is 21144. So before we went on a break, I had put you on a spotlight where we're saying too much of everything is poison. Even in natural talking, even if you take too much water, I've had cases of people being told that their blood are lighter and they have taken too much water. And yet we say, imagine you high. But now, coming to drug and substance abuse, like I've mentioned, we're having marijuana being a case study, and it has been proven that people going through chemotherapy, cancer patients, they can take marijuana as one of, dialysis, of one way to overcome the pains that they are going through. And also alcohol, like mentioned before, we said white wine, it has alcohol content, but it's also good for your health. Name it. We have a lot of things that we justify ourselves by saying, but we also have cases where we go in hospital. Correct me if I'm wrong, quoting the late President Mzee Moi said his doctor recommended that he should take a glass of wine every day. This is a doctor. Not him, but I've heard people severally mentioning that this glass of wine that I'm taking, it's a recommendation from my doctor. So from how do we draw the line to know this is allowed? To this extent, it is allowed for a doctor to prescribe it, for it to be good for your health. And to this much, it is not allowed for you to also tell me, even for this glass, it's not good for your health.
Okay, thank you, Ines. A very tricky question because I imagine even the viewers are waiting. Let's wait and hear so that we can know whether to use it or not. Allow me to say this. There is not as marijuana as we get it in the streets. Not in that form is it used as medicine. But one truth is it has medicinal value.
Okay.
And the medicinal value is they are drugs which are derived from the plant. And these drugs are used to reduce pain. Go to theater. There is a drug called morphine, which is used to sedate people even as they go through operations. Come out of theater and you have severe pain. There are drugs, there is a drug called pethidine, which will give you to relieve, but it has in moderated dosage. You know, this is something which has been purified and now is a pharmacological drug where even the dosage is regulated. So when people are arguing that it has medicinal values, it is true. However, the medicines have a regulated dosage. And they are also only on prescription. These are drugs, even some of the painkillers, which you get in chemists and in pharmacies, they are drugs which, without a prescription, you cannot. And even the pharmacists who are really professional cannot sell to you without a prescription. Why? Because they are called drugs under control, only used when there is need. In hospitals, they are kept at a lock and key, even where they are being given to patients, lest it falls to the wrong hands. Sure. Okay, the other bit of now, the alcohol. I know there are those who argue that their doctors, especially people who have cardiac challenges, they are told to take a glass of wine, but not all. But the question here is, if you take this glass of wine, what do I want to use? How disciplined are you that you stick to what the doctor said? Will there be craving for more? And this is where now the genetic part of it comes in. If I'm allergic to it, whether it is on prescription or not, I'll go overboard. Because as I take, and my entire system is reawakened, it will crave for more. And now, as he has been telling us about the heart, the mind of the heart, we will go for what we desire. That's the human nature. So I will end up going overboard, and this now will have an impact on my health. But the health I'm supposed to be taking care of.
Sure.
So it is true, something like marijuana has the medicinal bit of it, but it can only be used when it is a prescribed drug. Not the marijuana that I'll smoke it, and as I smoke it, I will get the relief. Okay, why do those people who have underlying mental health conditions go for marijuana or even tobacco? Because it has a relief it gives to them. See, so that's what keeps them there. However, whatever they are smoking is not in regulated doses, so it will end up messing them. And especially a drug like marijuana, we call it under the category of what we call fat-soluble drugs. It lodges in the place which is very rich with fat, and this is the gray area, the gray matter of our brain. So the minute it gets there, this is an area where it helps us get concentration, memory, have analytical thinking, all that. All that is interfered with. So it interferes with our system. Yes.
Mr. Benjamin, coming to you. Now as a preacher and sorry to put you in the spotlight. Now that you mentioned, I can also use you as a case study. Allow me. You having transformed from using marijuana until now you can talk and be able to help someone young out there to be able to overcome this as an addiction. We had a president, someone running or vying to be a president and was advocating for planting this, for us to be financially free. And every youth was out there saying, this person for presidency. Hospitals, churches, name them, parents were so against all that. Now, in the church, we've said, come as you are, you're going to help us. But now, I'm the mushikirika here, like mentioned, and you're helping me to understand the world of the heart. And also mention about morphine. I've also been privileged to have learned the world of the heart. And you've had case studies of where you say, if this patient is in the hospital ward, they are getting this percent of morphine, which is not diluted. It's high concentrated when they are going through operation. And also, was also in command name, given the stipulation of the condition that they are in hospital, they're subjected to morphine. And yet, when me, I'm outside, if I'm exposed to this morphine, I'm reacting to it and end up being a garbage. But when I'm in the hospital, I'm admitted or maybe in a coma or whatever situation, being exposed to this morphine for 5 years, I'll end up recovering and coming back to soberness and not be an addict. But yet here this person has been using this morphine for a week, for a month, and end up being an addict and a garbage. What is the thin line between the two? For us to understand the world of the heart and to know that, like Madam has mentioned, it is regulated, and I end up not being an addict, yet I'm exposed to it freely by the doctor, and here I am using it kwa hidden places and end up being an addict. What is the thin line between?
I want to speak about something which is very important. Number one, when it comes to medication, the drugs that are used for medication, are they used to a person who is okay or somebody who has a problem? Definitely, they are used for a person who is sick. When it comes now to the drugs and the drug abuse, do people take drugs? Is there anyone who was born smoking?
Not at all.
Is there anyone who was born drinking? Which means it is not something that you can say, yes, this is something that we have to take so that we have to survive. If we come now to the part of medication, then it is given to a person who has a problem. Why do people take drugs? This is where we have to start from. Number one, it's either out of influence. And this influence, it's not coming from other people. It is started from within them. They want to show people that I can do it. And as I said, people have two faces, isn't it? You know, there is a question that I want to ask everyone who is watching this program. What is it that you can do when you are alone? Is it a right thing that you can do, or what is it that you can do? Is it, let me put it this way, can you do the right thing when you are alone, or do you do the right things when you are with people? It all comes from what kind of mindset do you have. There are people, when they are before people, they are living a very good life, as I said. And even as I can mention, my kids will be different when I'm living with them. We are together in the house. They are the best people that I've ever seen. They come out of my presence, they have another kind of an image that they are showing people. That was me when I was taking bang. My mother would never tell, even today. She went, yes, but she didn't know whether the son, at any single given time, even, let's say, for example, if I was caught and taken to prison or to cell, she comes there and then she's told, your son was taking bang. Do you think she would believe? She would be crying and shouting, saying, my son cannot do that, isn't it? Mm-hmm. Which means there is a problem. And the problem is originating from the person himself. He's creating the problem himself and the solution. That's why before you, they look different. Before other people, they look different. So they know how to change their way of living. So the problem is not themselves. It's not the environment. The problem is originating from their heart.
As I interact you and we give our parting shot, I'm being told by my director that you are out of time. A yes or no question to you, Mr. Benjamin and Madam here. So you've said what we have in our heart, it's what we create, we also have a solution in it. So does it mean we also, the problem that we create for ourselves, we are also the antidote of the same? We induce ourselves a virus that we are also the antidote on it. Yes or no?
No.
Yes or no?
If you take us.
Do we create our own virus and also we are the same people carrying our antidotes?
I would say yes.
Okay. Give us our parting shot, starting with you, Mr. Benjamin.
What I would say is, I said no because you cannot create it by yourself. It is the factory setting. When you came out with your problems. So one of the things that we need to do to replace. Don't instill, people are installing other functions in their hearts. And then they're following their desire. And then they're saying that I met with Eunice, and it's Eunice who influenced me to do this. It's not Eunice, it's you, yourself. That's why you need to replace that with God, the fear of God.
Thank you so much. To you, Madam Catherine.
Why I'm saying yes is because more often than not, the human nature wants to get away from taking responsibility. And if it's about substance use, whether influenced or not, I responded the way I did. So I'm still the same person to take responsibility and to work towards my healing or recovery, the recovery process itself. Allow me, Eunice, even if you're out of time, to say one thing. Families, it's always important to speak about these issues candidly. Because if we don't do it ourselves, our children will get help from their peers or from other people who might be peddlers or the forces behind the drug world. So, my challenge to every parent, how often do you sit down with your children or your other members of the family and candidly speak about the issues, especially of drugs and all that which is surrounding the young generation? Because this is the only way to get ourselves out of the struggle we are going through. Yes.
That's a very
Thank you
good
so
question.
much. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen, for coming on board and tackling this. I still feel that we need a lot of time to talk. There's a lot to be talked about and a lot to be shared on the same. Viewer, let's continue this conversation online across all our social media networks. That's GBS TV Africa. Our SMS line is 21144. Till next time, have a nice time. Goodbye.